Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is August 23rd, 2021. We have 17 days to kick off. Incredible. Unbelievable. I am in amazement that it's right here. Two weeks, less than 2 weeks, well, a little over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yes. I can't wait to see some real football and not this preseason shit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got a good podcast for you. We're going to talk about the game, of course, the debacle against Tennessee. Then we got some Buccaneers news for you. We're going to cover some stuff, some trades and cuts and whatnot across the NFC South and with the beloved Buccaneers. But first, we got to get to some fact checks and follow-ups. This is a tough one. All right, first one. Fact check. We had a user, Ricky Alfonsi. I'm probably saying his name completely wrong. How would you say it? Alphonse?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, just your propensity for butchering names.
Yeah. So you know it's wrong. I'm going to go with a Ricky. I think I can get that one right.
I think we got that one.
Ricky pointed out that Dick Vitale is not an NBA announcer. He is a college basketball announcer. So, Ricky, we do appreciate that. Thank you for doing the work for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's always
nice. They make
nice.
our job so much easier.
Yes. Well, it'd be nice if we didn't have any errors. That would be good. But when we do, we like to know about it. Then it would
be a short podcast, I think.
Yes.
We wouldn't be opening our mouths.
We just wouldn't talk. That's the only way we can have a clean podcast.
Error-free show.
Yes. Okay. The second follow-up, it might be considered a fact check, is that we were just totally wrong about the Tennessee game.
Oh.
Like, oof.
Like everything.
Yes. What were our predictions?
Score prediction?
Yes, our score
predictions.
predictions.
Mine was 17-16. Yours was 20-16.
Both of us picked the Bucs.
Ooh, awful.
Yeah, well, it's preseason, so we're working through things too. Don't give us too hard of a time.
I overestimated our depth, I think.
Well, we did get a few things right. Kinsey, number 12 with Tennessee, was great. He whooped us.
He did.
We had some good stuff. So we're going to go right into the game. The summary of the game, I rewatched it, took notes and everything. Molly rewatched the first quarter, I think.
Yeah, that was all I could stomach.
Yeah. Well, the summary of it is, the bad is that it was the same stuff we had last year. Dropped passes, missed tackles, poor special teams, horrible field position, and we beat ourselves. Oh, and the refs sucked. Same stuff as last year, Don't think we've really improved on any of that. Now, the good is it's the same stuff as last year.
Yeah.
Because guess what happened last year? We went to the Super Bowl and we won it.
I mean, I don't know how you argue with that.
Right? I'll take a beat down in preseason. I'll even take some losses. I'll take a beat down by the other teams during the year. As long as we get to the Super Bowl and win it, I don't care. So yes, our second and third stringers, fourth stringers, we went through the depth chart. They played like our first stringers did the first half of last year. A lot of dropped passes, a lot of missed tackles. The refs really didn't do too good of a job in this game. We'll get to all that here in a second. But, we beat ourselves. When I watched it, I thought, man, we're not looking too good. But maybe it's because Tennessee whooped up on Atlanta. But so maybe, they're just whooping our butts. But on rewatching it, and, anytime you rewatch these games, it's never as bad as you think it is, and it's never as good as you think it was. So watching this, and mind you, I don't have the all 22. It was just a replay of the game. Yeah, it was just us beating ourselves. The interceptions and the fumbles and the missed tackles and all that wasn't anything special they did. We were bouncing it off our hands and off our helmets and, just not, just beating ourselves. And that's what happened last year. Generally when we lost, it was because we beat ourselves. So we'll get into it a little bit here. I was pretty surprised that we came out and our first series lineup, we had all of our second stringers in there. Well, right tackle, we had Brad Seaton, who didn't play last year. He opted out because of COVID.
I had completely forgotten about that, and I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yep, number 62, Brad Seaton. He played right tackle starting off. And I wondered, did he get a Super Bowl ring?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I looked it up and I couldn't find anything. I don't think he should.
Yeah,
I mean,
neither,
just
absolutely.
He didn't play all year. He didn't. He opted out. And that's what happens when you opt out. You take that chance.
Yeah.
So, but if he did get one, I ain't gonna be mad. So anyhow, Brad Seaton started. Alex Kappa started at right guard. Now these were our second stringers out there.
Well, BA said that he needed the reps from coming off of injury.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. 60, Nick Leverett was our center.
Okay. They speak pretty highly of him, the other offensive linemen, particularly this preseason.
Good. Left guard, Aaron Stinney. So Stinney went to left guard.
Oh, okay.
And left tackle, Josh Wells was out there. The quarterback, we started off with Blaine Gabbert, of course. Starting running back was Giovanni Bernard. Now, he played most of the game.
Really?
Well, Vaughn came in, but those two kind of swapped out later in the game. They kept.
Are you sure? Because on the stat sheet, Giovanni Bernard only has 1 yard.
Yeah, he didn't carry a lot, but he was out there a lot.
He was out there.
Yeah, he was out there as a receiver quite a bit too.
Well, the stat sheet said he only had 1 target. Are you sure?
Yeah, he dropped it. Yeah,
Oh, no.
It was a third down. Yeah, third three, right off his hands.
Yeah.
Tennessee, however, had their starting defense out there.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Don't know. They had a couple of cornerbacks that were secondary, or were second string, but their whole starting defensive line and their linebackers were their starters. So it was their first string against our second string.
Their first string did not play the first week. And I think that's what we're getting with a weird preseason. I think everyone is kind of trying to work out what's the best model for this.
Yeah.
And the Buccaneers said, okay, let's let everybody start the first week and the first series and then take this week off. But I think many teams did the opposite. They let their first string take the first week off, played a little bit the second week, and then, third week, I don't know what everyone's going to do. I know we're going to play the full half. But I think if this is a permanent change, eventually I think the format is going to shake itself out and everyone's going to do the same thing across the board. But teams are still trying to figure it out now. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing.
Yes, I agree with you because we've watched a couple of games, preseason 2, where they had their starters out there for a couple of series. And we're like, what are they doing? So, yeah, I think you're exactly right. Everybody's just trying to feel out what's going on and what to do. So we started off the first series with our second stringers. They started off with their first string defense out there.
And they have a good defense.
Yes, and we did good. We moved the ball down the field, and then on 3rd and 2, Gabbert had that deep pass to Howard that bounced off his helmet and then bounced off his hands. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful pass. It was a great play design, too. And he just dropped it. Just bounced right. I mean, it was weird. That was a weird one. That was almost as weird as that one where he caught it and then it went behind his back. Was that last year? Went behind his back?
No, that was with Jameis. He did that to Jameis.
And then it was an interception because he somehow got behind his back.
Yes. I don't know what is wrong with him. Like, he has the weirdest stances when he catches balls sometimes.
Yes, and he's got an unusual attitude out there, too. I was noticing watching this game, he just wasn't hyped up. He was just kind of moping around. He didn't interact with any of the players. I always look for that. And, he was just almost like he was mailing it in almost. It was weird. We got messages during the game from people saying they were at the game, and they were like, everybody is pissed at O.J. Howard.
Yeah. Well, he gave up a sack, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many drops he had. Let me look at the drops. But he also gave up a sack, and you're just like, come on, dude. What are you? Okay, he had 6 targets and 3 receptions. So he dropped 3.
Yeah.
Half of them.
Mm-hmm. And on that sack, we'll get into that later. Yeah, he got beat, and then he just sat there and watched the guy. And the guy hit, I think it was Griffin, and Griffin fumbled the ball. And luckily, Watford fell on it. But the whole time, Howard was just standing there watching it.
I don't like his attitude. I think he's had a bad attitude for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
There were rumors a few years ago that he wanted to be traded. He didn't get traded. You would think that attitude would change when you get the GOAT and y'all win the Super Bowl, but here we are. Here
it is. You get drafted 19th in the first round. Everybody makes a big, to-do about it. He comes in and Cutter's offense, and he's just lighting it up, and then he gets hurt. And then the next year he lights it up again, he gets hurt. And then the next year, Gronkowski comes in and takes his job. And then he gets hurt again. So, he might be like, just get me out of this place. I just, he wants to go somewhere where he can be a starter, and maybe not get hurt so much.
Well, according to the depth chart, he is a starter.
Yeah, it's because we got 2 tight ends starting.
Yeah.
But at this pace, it wouldn't surprise me if they put Brate.
They should. Yeah. Brate has earned it.
Yeah. So anyhow, we moved down the field pretty good against their first-string defense with our second-string offense. But then that happened, and we ended up punting the ball. But they had their first-string punt returner back there, Chester Rogers. And if you remember, they just lit us up all night long in kick and punt returns. So then their first offensive series, they put their second string offense out there. Now they did a weird thing where they had number 5 Woodside, their quarterback. He played like up into the third quarter, I think. He played the whole first half. And then they switched out with
Matt Barkley.
And he played for a series, and then Woodside came back in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
That's a weird way to do it.
Yeah, it's very strange. And then Barkley came in for a couple passes, and then Woodside came back in for the rest of the game. It was very strange. I couldn't figure out what the heck they were doing over there. I don't think they knew what they were doing over there, except whooping our butts.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks had crazy passer ratings. Matt Barkley had 134.1, and Logan Woodside had 139.6. So they did pretty well. Mm-hmm. Woodside went 7 for 8 for 64 yards and a touchdown. And Barkley went 12 for 16, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns. So
yeah,
but they did give up 3 sacks.
Yeah, we were getting to them, but our secondary wasn't doing their job. Or linebackers. A lot of their stuff was over the middle. Linebackers were getting torched. So then, our first defensive series, we had our second string defense out there. But we got a lot of guys that have a lot of experience on our second, on our defensive line. O'Connor, Nacho, McClendon. These guys have been playing for a long time they've got a lot of reps with first string defense throughout the years. So we got some, we held them to a 3-and-out in their first offensive series. And so that was promising. Our second string offense against their first string defense, we moved the ball down the field a little bit. And then our second string defense against their second string offense, we held them to a 3-and-out. So that was good. It's good to see that. Then the refs just totally screwed up kick returns, called 43 Cockrell for holding.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they didn't replay it that I remember. You know, this is preseason, so the replays are absolutely atrocious. Sometimes they show them, sometimes they don't. Sometimes when they do show them, it's one time and just from one angle. So from what I saw, it didn't really look like he held the guy, but I couldn't see him when he was off camera, so I couldn't see what happened there. And they didn't replay it that I saw. So to me, it looked like a ticky-tacky call. And we had a pretty decent run back on that. So, and it ended up taking us back and giving us horrible field position. Now, we had horrible field position all night long. I think we had one series where we started off on their side of the field. The rest of the time we were, starting off on our 5-yard line or 6-yard line and stuff like that.
Which is funny because I'm looking at the return yardage, and on kick returns, Keyshawn Vaughn got a total of 31 yards, a 22-yard long. Mm-hmm. And then punt returns, Jalen Darden had 3 for 34 yards, a 19-yard long. Mm-hmm. But yeah, our field position was terrible.
Yeah. That's where stats will fool you there.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
You look at that and you go, hey, they did all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of upset that we didn't get to see Darden get to do. He did a couple of returns, but a lot of times it was kicked out of bounds, or he had to fair catch it and stuff like that. So we didn't get to see a whole lot from him. So anyhow, the second offensive series for Tennessee, they had their second string out there, and that's when I don't know. Our second offensive series, Tennessee had their second string defense out there.
Okay.
Kappa gave up a horrible, horrible sack.
Oh, God.
Yes. He looked totally confused, like he didn't know who he was supposed to block, and he actually spun around by himself. He didn't get pushed or nothing. He just spun around like he was looking for somebody to block, and when he spun, the guy he was supposed to block went right past him.
No.
And it was straight to the quarterback, yeah. So Bruce Arians said that the competition between Cap and Stinnie is close. It might be because of that play, because you look at that and you go, whoa, you can't do that. That would have got Tom Brady killed.
Well, I was shocked that he even said that in the press conference. It was not on my radar whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Never thought that Kappa would be at risk of losing the job. BA did say it's his job to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he'll start. But.
I do too. I don't, but I mean, I'm happy that we have Stinnie, and he's he did great in the playoffs, and thank God, because offensive linemen, as we've talked about before, so hard to find a good one, even just a mediocre one, as we've seen in the preseason.
Yes.
So I'm glad that we have him. I would rather Kappa not lose his job, though.
Yes.
That would be a little.
Yeah, Kappa's tough. That's what I like about Kappa, man.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that group is very tight, and I don't think that you should shake up that dynamic.
Not if you can help it.
Exactly.
Then 79 O'Connor, he played great.
Oh, he killed it. And
he was killing it.
He might have secured his job, which I didn't even think that his job was up for grabs, but...
Yeah. He was just destroying those guys out there. I mean, he was beating just about everybody they put in front of him. 22 Hamilton, he had a couple good plays. He had a good tackle for a loss. That was a nice one.
I like him. Apparently, he is a veteran and played for the Chiefs.
Yep.
Did we touch on that? I had forgotten about it, and then I saw it on Twitter today, and I was like, oh, yeah. He had a TFL and a pass defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he wasn't out there a lot either. You got his snap counts?
No, I don't have the snap counts up.
Okay. Tennessee's second offensive series, again, 3 and out. Me and you talked about the assistant strength and conditioning coach. What's her name? I can't pronounce her name. Meryl.
I don't know.
Okay, last name. Okay, yeah. I'll just go with Meryl.
Yeah.
We talked about that for 2 podcasts. And then in this game, this is the first time where we saw her like twice, and she was back in the back.
She was yelling at somebody, and I think that, and it was like kind of in between a play, and there were a ton of guys on the sideline, kind of near the white line. So I think there's a good possibility she's the get back coach.
But maybe for the whole team. because she did look like she was yelling at guys, but I couldn't tell if she was yelling at them to get off the field or get behind the line or whatever.
Whatever it was.
It was so strange that she just wasn't around Arians at all after we made this big deal about it. I was like, seriously?
Like, they're trying to prove us wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now that we got people looking for it, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, yeah. They just want to make us look bad.
Yeah.
Bucs' third offensive series, Leverett, the center, fumbled the snap. I don't know what happened there. They didn't replay it. We didn't get a good
Oh my
series.
gosh. Ralph, I did not know this until I just looked at the stat sheet. We had 6 fumbles. 6.
Yeah, we fumbled a lot.
6.
Yeah.
Like, Levante was not kidding when he said no one's worried about ball security in the preseason. I just didn't realize it was our team, too. It's everybody. We did get 5 of them back.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
But you never want to see that many fumbles in a game. Good Lord.
No, good Lord. Yeah, luckily for that, Gabbert fell on it. So we got that back. And then right after that, O.J. Howard drops another pass right in his hands. It would have been a first down. And then Darden catches the ball. He was like at the first down marker. And if he would have just fallen down or fallen back a little bit, he would have had the first down. But instead he tried to run and he did a little a clip and they tackled him and he was short. So then we go for it. 4th and 1, Bernard up the middle. Boom. We don't get it. They get great field position. I think there was like on the 40 or something. And this is when things started going a little bit. Tennessee's third offensive series starts with a short field. They made a first down. They went for it on 4th and 1 on the 6-yard line. Got a touchdown. That was the one to 38, and that was on 52 Britt, our linebacker. Mm-hmm. He was just a step behind the guy. He read it well. He was a step behind the guy, and it was a great pass by Wood. Was it Woodside? So anyhow, our fourth offensive series, we go out there. Ryan Griffin's out there now.
Oh, he did not look great.
No, he didn't. He made some great decisions, but his balls just did not look good. Can't believe I just said that.
Were they not groomed or?
We need to send him a manscaping kit. His passes, they looked very weak. Some of them fluttered. There was a couple end over ends. He was throwing some ducks. But that, he threw some good passes too, but some of them just looked bad. Very weak. He looked like he had a very weak arm. And but he made great decisions and he didn't get flustered, so that's good. So anyhow, 3 and out on that series. So we're starting to not do good. We came out pretty decent. Now we're starting to make mistakes.
See, that is so weird because if you had asked me, I would have said Gabbert looked terrible.
Right.
Griffin wasn't really on my radar. I don't think any of them really looked that great, but to me, Gabbert did not look.
Mm-hmm.
That stood out to me more than how Ryan Griffin looked.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't lay too much of this on the quarterbacks at all, really, because the receivers were just dropping balls right in their hands, left and right. Okay, so in Tennessee, they got their fourth offensive series. They started on the Tennessee 37. Great field position. Our tackling was horrible. They had 2 big runs, like 15 yards back to back. And that put them in field goal range. Boom, kick it, 10-zip. Here we are, 10:37 in the second quarter, 10-zip. It's still a manageable game now. Our fifth offensive series, Griffin's still out there. He got 1 first down, then a 3rd down, deep, beautiful pass to Scotty Miller right in his hands. He caught the ball, but his foot stepped out of bounds.
Oh, and that was one of those grimy catches I think that BA was talking about. He did beat that guy.
He had a
2 or 3
touchdown.
steps in front of him, yeah.
If he would have just stayed in bounds. Mm-hmm. He caught the ball, and he could have stepped his foot in bounds, but that 1 foot stepped out of bounds, and then he just veered out of bounds. I was so angry. I was like, oh, my God, that was a beautiful pass, beautiful play. Everything was perfect. Keep your feet in bounds, dude. So then we end up punting. Right? So here it is. That's been 3 passes now. No, 4 for good yardage that our receivers have just totally screwed up. All right. So the fifth offensive series for the Tennessee Titans. Woodside still in at quarterback. 79 O'Connor with a great sack. Man, he beat the mess out of 67 as a rookie. Cole Banwart. Yeah. I mean, Connor just whooped him. It was embarrassing. and it was almost straight to the quarterback. Connor did a nice little move. Boom, got right by him. Quarterback dead. So 3 and out. They had to punt. So that's been, 4 3 and outs they've had? Mm-hmm. You know, looking back on the game, you go, wow, I don't remember that. It just seems like they were just beating us up the whole game. But no, they didn't really do anything so far. So we had our 6th offensive series comes out, short field, Tennessee 44. Griffin is still his quarterback. O.J. Howard finally catches the ball.
Yay, OJ.
Yep, but then the very next play he gets beat on a block.
Oh, gives up the sack.
Yep, Griffin gets blindsided. He fumbles it, recovered by Watford. And then Howard catches another ball, gets us in field goal range, 10-3, 3:29 in the second quarter. Okay, so then on the ensuing kickoff, we kick it. 80, their number one starter, Chester Rogers, is still out there returning kicks. He gets a huge return, huge. It was like 60, 70 yards. And it was an ankle tackle by Pinion. Remember that?
Oh,
the kicker just barely got him. And
but wasn't it called back?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this was a BS call. It was a call by the refs. Now with the kicking, they've changed all kinds of rules. You know, did it a few years ago, and you can't double team block anymore. You used to. You could like form a wedge. You can't even do that. Now you can't even stand side by side with a guy. Now you can't even have 2 guys on one. Well, what happened with this guy is he kind of got caught up in the scrum, and they basically ran into him, and it ended up being 2 guys blocking one of our guys. It had nothing to do with the play. It wouldn't have helped if if the guy would have laid down and not blocked. It wouldn't have had anything to do. It was totally on the other side of the field. It's just one of those plays where you go, man, that's crap. You want to see good football, and that was good football. I mean, the Chester just blew a hole right in us, man. It was a great run on him. It was horrible tackling on our part again. And, the refs just screwed that up. I was like, there was nothing the guy could have done. They ran into him, basically. I guess what he could have done was just curled up in a ball, because all he did was kind of just, blocked up a little bit, just kind of was basically defending himself. And he got called for double team block. So anyhow, they get the ball. So this is their 6th series now. Woodside's still out there. 3rd and out. 3 and out. Great defensive play in that series. I mean, they didn't move the ball. They were just like bam, bam, bam. So then it's our ball again. 7th offensive series. We start on our 33. Not bad field position. 3 and out. On 3rd and 3, this is the one where Bernard drops the ball. 3rd and 3. Right in his hands, bounced right off. It was one of those where you're just like, that's what we got you for, dude. That was a really good pass. That was a great touch and everything. All right, so then they get their 7th series. 14, Matt Barkley comes out there. They start on their 21, so this is bad field position for them, a little bit. They just ran the ball down our throat. Got the ball all the way up to the 43, 20-some yards. Tryon had a sack on that play. It was a pretty good one. But that's the one where he grabs him by the ankle and he's holding him, and Barkley threw the ball, and it should have been a fumble because it came out of his hand.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
But they said they blew the whistle, which they didn't blow the whistle, and they said he was in the grasp. He wasn't in the grasp. Tryon had him by the ankle. He was standing. He was perfectly standing up, and he threw the ball, and it came out of his hand.
So what's the argument if he is in the grasp? At that point,
it's the
sack already, he's down?
Right, but they didn't blow the whistle. So, they just retroactively called it a sack. It should have been a fumble. And we got the ball, but they blew the whistle, and we're like, no, it was a sack. We decided that Tryon had him in his grasp. He had his ankle. So anyhow, Tennessee got a 58-yard field goal. They were like, let's just go for it. Let's just kick it.
That one was so stupid.
That is infuriating.
So dumb.
58-yarder. How did we not block that, for one?
Nobody tried. That's why.
And we had Darden in the end zone to, if it would have came short, he was going to return it out. Yeah, but we went right in.
I like that contingency plan, though.
Oh, yeah. So, here we are. We're at, it's 13-3 now with 8 seconds left in the second quarter. We get the ball. We kneel. Okay, they come out. We kick it to them. It's the 8th offensive series for them, and they got a great special teams return by Tennessee. Kinsey's out there, number 12, and he got some great catches in this series, but it was 3 and out. Again, what is that? 5, 6 3 and outs that Tennessee's had. We played pretty good up to this point. We were just making simple mistakes, dumb mistakes. So anyhow, we got our 8th offensive series. The Bucs are out there. This is when Trask comes out. We started on our 6-yard line. Tanner Hudson had that weird catch. And
which one was that?
This is the fumble return for a touchdown.
Oh, man. That was so infuriating. Okay, so they called it a catch, then a fumble, and an a touchdown.
Right.
But I didn't get to see the whole process. Like, to me, was it a catch? So if it's a catch, at what point is he down? To me, the ball was already coming out before he was down. So it didn't seem like it was a catch at all.
Right.
Like, did he make the catch? To be a catch, you have to make a football move.
Right.
So had he made a football move, and I guess if he had, then it came out before he hit the ground, so I could see where that would be a fumble, but I didn't see him complete the process of the catch.
Well, he caught the ball, and he turned around, and he took a step, maybe a step and a half, going down the field, and he got hit in the hip, and it jarred him sideways, and the ball came out and got wedged in his between his bicep and his forearm. But it didn't move after that. I mean, he gripped it. So if you're going to say that's a catch, he landed, his elbow hit, and then the ball popped out. Okay. So if it's a catch, like they're saying, catch and fumble, then he was down
when his elbow hit.
Right.
So it didn't come out before his elbow hit.
No.
Okay.
It shifted and moved, but he retained possession of it. It didn't move after it moved initially.
And the ground cannot cause a fumble.
The ground didn't cause a fumble. No. It's one of those weird ones where you're like, man, what do you call there? First, was it a catch? That's completely debatable to me. He got one step in, basically. You could say maybe 1.5 step, but he got hit as soon as he caught the ball almost. And that's when the ball came loose. So if you're going to say it was a fumble, you have to say it was a fumble from that point. You see what I'm saying? And if you're going to say that's where the fumble started, then you have to say it wasn't a catch.
Right, because he didn't complete the process.
Right. So it was just a clusterfuck all the way around. I mean, it is. But anyhow, I think they made the wrong call. It looked to me like he caught the ball. It did move, but he retained possession of it all the way through to the ground. And then when he hit the ground, his elbow hit first. Right then, it should have been, completed catch right there.
And that's what Rondé was saying on the broadcast.
Yeah.
He was pretty vocal about being unhappy about the call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it didn't move after that. After it moved initially, when he first got hit, he pinched it between his bicep and his forearm, and it was just hanging there or sticking there. But he had control of it. And then when he hit the ground, he hit with that elbow, and that caused the ball to pop out. So, that was just one of those weird fluke plays, and that guy happened.
What do you do?
Yeah. And then, of course, the refs totally screwed it up. So right there, that's when this game got totally out of hand, man. I mean, it just went stupid from there. So that made it 20-3 in the third quarter, 12:02. So then we get the ball again. This is our 9th offensive series. We move the ball about 20 yards and then punt it. Tennessee, they get the ball, their 9th offensive series. They started on the 25. Now Woodside's back in as quarterback. And on 3rd and 2, they got an offensive encroachment or offsides encroachment in the neutral zone penalty on us, which gave them a first down. Then that's when Fitzpatrick, number 10, got that long bomb from Woodside on 29 Wilcox, and that made it 27-3. Wilcox just screwed up on that. He came running forward. The receiver shot past him and went, oh, crap. He turned around and tried to catch up with him, couldn't do it.
It seemed like he got burned a couple of times. Wilcox.
Yeah.
At 29.
Yeah. Did we release him?
No.
Okay. So it's 27-3, 146 in the third quarter. Bucs 10th offensive series. Trask is out there. 3rd and out, 3 and out. Just we didn't do anything. Tennessee's 10th series, offensive series. Woodside's back out there at quarterback. They got a 3 and out. We got a sack on 3rd down. That was Stewart. He come busted in. Stewart is somebody else. I didn't catch his number. Stewart's the Viking.
I know. He killed it.
Yeah, he was doing good.
Let me see. He got 6 tackles, 6 solo, a sack, 3 TFLs, and 1 quarterback hit. He led the stat sheet on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's great. He didn't look tired, too. We were looking at that when he came out there. I was like, he's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. But he never did. And it was a good sack, too. So, I like him.
And BA said he might have secured himself a job.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of energy, man. I mean, he really goes all out. And he's Mr. Relevant. Last player picked in the draft. I want him to make the team.
I know.
I really do.
He has a good personality. And you feel like he plays hard.
Yes.
He's like trying.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a 3rd down sack. The 3rd down sacks are extremely important. That's the best time to get a sack.
Yeah.
So they ended up punting. We got our 11th series on offense going in. Trask fumbles it. He's just scrambling. He like does a bootleg out to the right, and as he's looking down the field, the ball just comes right out of his hand. I don't know what it was. That was some Jameis Winston looking stuff there. He just dropped the ball basically. That was a silly fumble. It was recovered by the Bucs. So. Next play, Trask throws to 85 Mickens. Beautiful pass. If number 24 from Tennessee wouldn't have been in the way, it hit him right in the back of the helmet. He was covering Mickens, and Trask throws it, hits him right in the back of the helmet, and it bounces up in the air. The guy wasn't even looking. He was looking
Mickens at or the Tennessee guy.
The Tennessee guy, number 24. He was looking at Mickens. And it hits 24 right in the back of the helmet and it pops up in the air. Tennessee intercepts it. You're like, oh my gosh, what in the world was that? Mm-hmm. Here you are, you're running around, you're dropping the ball on the ground, you're fumbling it when there's nobody hitting you, and then you throw the ball and hit the defender in the helmet, pops it up, interception. So anyhow, Tennessee gets the ball. This is their 11th offensive series. Barkley's back out there. So, they're just swapping quarterbacks back and forth now. And he throws it to Kinsey, number 12, for a touchdown. Nate Brooks was in coverage, number 38.
Mm-hmm. So he did get cut.
Yeah. And it was probably a good thing because he got burned quite a bit in this game. So now here it is, 11:03 in the fourth quarter. It's 34-3. It's just like, it just went almost like
downhill, like very quickly.
Very, very badly. So then our 12th offensive series, Trask is still out there. Sywell Grayson with a great catch, deep. Number 15. Then number 24, the one we got hit in the head by the pass, his name was Molden. He got a sack. Mm-hmm. And then the very next play, he got a tackle for a loss. So he created an interception. He didn't really have much to do with that, but it was very good coverage on his part. And then he gets a sack, and then he gets a tackle for a loss, so.
Oh my gosh, his stats are ridiculous for this game. He had 8 tackles, 8 solo, a sack, 2 TFLs, a pass defense, and a quarterback hit.
Dang.
Like, wow.
Wow. He might make their team. If
Okay.
not, somebody needs to pick him up.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to make it. He was their 3rd round pick this year in the draft. So he's a rookie.
So he's out there in the 4th quarter. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're trying to get him some reps.
Yeah. So then it's 3rd and 20, right? We pick up 11 yards, and then we go for it. 4th and 9. And
I mean, we had to at that point.
yeah,
Trying to put
34-3.
Yeah.
You got to just start chunking it.
Points on the board.
And we did threw it to 15 Grayson. It was a beautiful pass right off his hands. Would have been a first down. You're just like, what?
0.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just him. It was everybody.
Yeah.
Scotty Miller, O.J. Howard. Just, man, they just got to catch the ball. So then the Tennessee, they start their 12th offensive series. They start on the 39 because we 4th downed it. And they got a 3 and out. Then it's us, Bucs, 13th offensive series. We start on our 7.
Ooh.
Yes.
I hate those. Those make me so nervous.
Yes. This is the one where Tanner Hudson lays out for a pass when he didn't need to. Don't know why he did this. I don't know why. He like jumped before the ball got there and kind of had to stretch out a little bit for it. Mm-hmm. Right off his hands. Right off his hands. Bounced right out of his hands, right into Tennessee's hands. Interception. They returned it back to the 15-yard line. It's just like, what? It's not really great plays on their part. Tennessee didn't really do anything great. We're bouncing balls off of helmets and hands.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I know.
I mean, you're just popping it up, giving them the opportunity.
Yeah, but you got to hand it to Tennessee. They were there. They took advantage of it, But we were just shooting ourselves in the foot left and right. So anyhow, the Game Pass, I want to say this real quick. It just sucks if you haven't, if you've been thinking about subscribing to it, don't yet until they get this stuff worked out. They've totally removed. They used to have an option where you could slow-mo it. You could press a button and it would play in slow motion. They've removed that. It's gone. So now you have to pause, play, pause, play, pause, play. And that's what I did with this Tanner Hudson because I was like, what is he doing? Why did he jump while the ball was still in the air? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like Trask threw the ball and almost as soon as he threw it, Tanner's jumping. So he miscalculated. And when the ball was in with reach of him, he had to stretch out for it, and it bounced right off his hands. Oh, I just get angry thinking about all this. So anyhow, Tennessee, their 13th offensive series. They start off on the 15. Woodside's back in as quarterback. They go for it on 4th and 3. We kept them, and they go for it on 4th and 3 at about our 7, and we stopped them. So that was good. Actually, a tackle for a loss. So then we get the ball back. It's 14th series for us with Trask is still out there in quarterback. We're starting it on our 7. We advanced the ball. We're moving the ball down the field. We got to the 50. And then 83 TJ Simmons dropped a pass on 3rd down. So then we tried a 67-yard field goal.
Oh, poor Bradley. That was on Pinion. They put Pinion out there.
That was Pinion that they did?
Yeah.
I guess because he's got a strong leg.
Well, BA said that he had made that during practice. So they wanted to see it. They were like, yeah, let's just try it.
That would have been not a record because it's not a regular season game, but it would have been a record for something, I'm sure. 67 yards. Anyhow, that was the end of the game. They get the ball. They kneel it down. So 34-3. That was it.
Yeah.
Just an ugly game. It was ugly. Now, there was some good stuff to it. O'Connor, great. Stewart, great.
Yeah.
Hamilton, good. Offensive line looked good. Kappa gave up that one sack that was just really weird. He looked lost. Spun around. Like he was like looking for somebody. It was almost like he went, I'm supposed to block a guy, but there's nobody here to block. So maybe he's sacking the quarterback. So he like turned around to look, and that's when the guy he was supposed to block just ran right past him. Very strange.
Yeah.
But overall, I think our offensive line looked pretty good. depth looked all right.
Well, that's promising.
Yeah, it was all right.
I think the biggest thing to take away from this is that, like, we're not going to have to rely on all these guys to be I feel like the purpose of our depth is to fill in if and when, God forbid, anybody gets hurt. And I think a lot of these guys, I'm thinking of the linebacker core, Kevin Minter, Ross Cockrell. Like, we have good depth already, and the guys out here during the Tennessee game, it was not those guys. So we're looking at like third string. Like outside linebacker, we got Tryon.
Yeah, Golston didn't play.
Yeah, I mean,
I think McClendon did like 2-3 snaps maybe.
Yeah, so the guys we're looking at here are not. I think they're all, one, very raw. Mm-hmm. But two, they're not guys who are probably going to see a ton of playing time, even should they make the roster. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of time to develop. Yeah. Should we need them.
Yes.
So. I
concur.
I would like to see better special teams play, though.
Yeah.
So I think, if any of them are trying to make the case that they deserve a roster spot, special teams is where you do it, and we're not seeing it there.
Yeah, we didn't have anybody stand out on special teams. And when we say special teams, we're talking about tackling and blocking on punt and kick returns.
And BA even brought up how bad the tackling was on special teams. So.
Yeah. Which that was our problem last year.
Yeah.
All year. And it wasn't really a problem so much as it just we weren't elite or above average at that, We might even be a little below average on special teams, Which there's nothing else on our team that's like that. So that's our weakness.
Close.
And if you're going to have a weakness, that's the one to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to see how the starters do next week. I think that's going to be a better gauge for what we're looking at in the regular season. And frankly, none of our starters are ever going to play like this. So I'm not concerned. I don't know about you.
No.
I don't expect another game like this.
Yeah, we had problems last year with our receivers not catching the balls.
Sure.
But I'm hoping this year. I mean, you're not going to see this type of mess for sure. Not with our starters. All right, you got some news for us?
I do. Let's see. All right. So Sunday, the Buccaneers waived 4 players from the roster. Outside linebacker Quentin Bell, which I found very interesting considering he played this weekend, and I thought him and Cam Gill were probably duking it out, and Cam Gill hasn't really played this preseason. Quentin Bell, he didn't really rack up any stats this week. He had 2 tackles.
Yeah, he didn't look anything spectacular, and he was going up. He came in late in the game. He was going up against the 3rd and 4th stringers.
Yeah, so that was probably a good indication that he was on the bubble. I'm just a little surprised given that Cam Gill has been injured. Yeah. I thought Quentin Bell might have had a better shot.
They might have given Quentin Bell, more time, for the roster. Kept him on the roster, but I think watching Stewart, they went, okay, we want to keep this guy, so we got to get rid of somebody that we didn't expect to get rid of.
Gotcha.
This soon, yeah.
Yeah. Safety Nate Brooks got cut. I liked him the first week. I felt like he was there a lot, but you said this week he kind of got burned. So wide receiver TJ Simmons, that drop I guess cost him his job. And then safety Lawrence White, who I remember seeing his jersey because it's white, the 4th, and it was just a little, it stood out to me because of Devin White, but I don't recall any plays that he made.
Yeah.
So we lost those 4, and then also running back Troymaine Pope, who's been injured all week. They waived him with an injury designation. And those moves bring us down to the 80-man roster, which we have to be at, I think, Tuesday. So we went from 85 to 80. However, today we signed tackle Jonathan Hubbard. So some more offensive line depth. Not really sure why. And Greg Auman tweeted that he played at Northwestern State and then was on the Dolphins practice squad last year. So we got some more depth there.
What was his name?
Hubbard. Jonathan Hubbard.
John. I don't even see him listed anywhere.
Well, we just added him today. So that's probably why. All right. So in practice today, they returned to practice. Center Robert Hainsey was practicing. So he's missed a lot of training camp and the first 2 preseason games. But he's coming back, and BA thinks that he'll be able to play on Saturday against the Texans. So I'd like to see what he's got going on. Players that did not practice today include Cyril Grayson, center John Molchan, Cam Gillistill, Jordan Whitehead, and then Cam Brate did not. And then they also excused Carlton Davis, Steve McClendon, and Ndamukong Suh from practice. So I think they got like Veterans Days today. And they were practicing inside. They had shoulder pads and shorts on today. So Tuesday through Thursday, they'll have late morning practices. And then Friday they have off. Saturday, we will play the Texans. So I guess Friday they'll probably travel to Houston because we're playing away that game. And then the big news that came out on Sunday was that Mike Vrabel tested positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. And I just panicked when that happened because we all saw the pictures of him in the golf cart with BA on the sideline, yucking it up with Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God. But BA said today they're monitoring the situation, but they don't really have any cause for concern at this point. So Greg Auman was saying, Vrabel was around BA, but probably no more than 5 minutes at a time. So
now goalpost is shifting again.
I guess.
I thought that if you came in contact with anybody that had...
Right, but I think close contact is, 15 minutes or more, relatively close. That's what the CDC guidelines say.
Yeah, but what does the NFL guidelines say?
Right.
I thought that like if you... I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. As long as we're good, I'm good.
Yeah, for now, we're good. So...
For now? Oh, yeah. They might get test positive. Wouldn't that be something? Ooh, I'll be furious. Yeah,
I know. Exactly. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. But for now, they don't have any cause for concern. And BA said they're touching base with the league to see if there's anything else that, the team needs to be doing in the meantime. So
I don't know if you noticed, but Tryon changed his name, his last name. His nameplate on his jersey is now Tryon Shoyinka. And it's pronounced strange.
It is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not Shoyinka like it says.
I wonder how we say it.
I don't know.
They said it in the broadcast, but I forgot to pay attention.
Yeah,
so.
And that's when I went, that's not how that's spelled.
I know.
But he did that because of his dad, right? His dad's last name is Shoyinka. Okay. All right,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Give the dad some love. We had the top 10 unveiling, or the top 10 unveiling coming up, NFL top 10.
Well, they released the 40 through 11. So we got those, and then they released the top 10, but not in that order.
Right. So Tom Brady's in the top 10. We know that. We just don't know what position he's in. He's the only Buccaneer in the top 10.
Well,
we just won a Super Bowl.
I know, but like all the top 10s, mostly quarterbacks. Is there anyone who's not a quarterback in the top 10?
Yeah.
Who?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
And...
Yeah, he shouldn't be in the top 10. What are they doing?
Where is the list? Here's the list. Hold on. Yeah. I mean, there's quite a few on the top 10 that I was like, what? I mean, how was Gronkowski not in the top NFL 100? Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. It's
Absolutely. You are correct.
Insanity.
But we should mention Devin White got number 28, which that is just, I was surprised, like pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's getting the looks. And, you know, I almost feel like he's got such a huge personality, too. And I think with Levante, like, that might have been a reason why he hasn't gotten the recognition over the years, is because he's so calm and quiet, and he's reserved. Not reserved. He's not as in your face as Devin White. So that's probably part of the reason that he hasn't gotten the love that Bucs fans know he should have gotten.
Yeah, that's how you knew back when these NFL things started coming out, NFL 100s, that they were just BS because Devontae Davis was never on them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, what? It's kind of like the Pro Bowl. You're like, how in the world? He's got better stats than Luke Kuechly every year, but yet Luke Kuechly's going to this Pro Bowl. It's like, what? So, here's the top 10. These are the guys. Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, Tom Brady.
Okay, Josh Allen, that is just nonsense. Are you people serious?
It's insane. Well, they did go 13-3, so, you know, it's all him.
No.
Tom Brady, Aaron Donald. These are not in order. These are just the top 10 that are going to be announced. Aaron Donald, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce in the top 10.
I could see top 20.
Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and TJ Watt. So, you know.
Okay, TJ Watt is there.
There's only 4 quarterbacks. There's only 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's absurd. Devontae Adams?
Right. Yeah.
Come on.
Shaquille Barrett's down there at 88. You know, and they're giving these guys, you know, and TJ Watt's in the top 10. We won the Super Bowl, guys. You know, let's not forget that. Insanity. That's good though. Let them sleep on us. I don't care.
I agree.
It'd be nice to have the recognition, but we can win it again without the recognition. Give us a chip on our shoulders. That's how I like it. So we have 8 guys that made the NFL top 100. It's 7 or 8. I can't remember.
I think 7.
Well, I counted 7, but then I skipped Devin White.
Oh.
Yeah. So it might be 8. And I'm not going to sit here and count them. So it's 7 or 8 guys. So, you know, that's not bad. But the highest one we got besides Tom Brady is Devin White at 23?
28.
So can't be too upset about that. Falcon.
I know. And Devin White is so young, too.
Yeah, he's going to be on this thing forever.
Like, now that he's broken the list, he's probably going to be on there for a long time.
Yes. Falcons backup quarterback, AJ Mccarron, is out for the season. Torn ACL in his right knee.
Who did they play? Was it from the game on Saturday?
Don't know. I didn't watch it.
Me neither. That'll be a follow-up.
Yep. The Saints have signed veteran safety Jeff Heath. Heath led the Raiders with interceptions last year with 3. They also signed kicker Aldrick Rosas. Oh. Yeah. With Will Lutz sidelined.
Yeah, well, they had Marr that they signed, Mahatr. And I recognize the name because I had him 1 year in fantasy. I think he used to play for the Texans, maybe. So they had signed him once Will Lutz announced that he was going to have that groin surgery. But maybe it sounds like there's a kicking competition in New Orleans. Yay!
Quarterback competition, kicker competition.
Well, and then, you know, they signed that safety. Their defensive backfield has just been a mess. I think that earlier there were reports that they were trying to trade for a corner, and then they had Patrick Robinson retire. So
yeah.
I think they have a lot of holes to fill. Yeah,
that's what she said. So, yeah, I'm not upset about any of that. But one thing I am upset about it is Larry Fitzgerald looks like he might be retiring. I know this has nothing to do with
I think
the Bucs,
that
but
that was, and I think he made that announcement like a long time ago in the off season.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was just talking on the radio. Yeah, no, he's still with the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
He's a starter for the Cardinals. And he said on the radio that he didn't really feel like playing this year. And it's kind of shocked everybody. But the reason why I brought this up, because we talk about, the dropped passes the Buccaneers have been experiencing. DeAndre Hopkins never drops a pass, Mr. Sticky Hands. But Larry Fitzgerald, somebody said Larry Fitzgerald has more career tackles than he does drops.
What?
Yeah. That's amazing. If it's true.
That.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
It is remarkable.
I mean, wow.
He just never drops the ball. But him and DeAndre Hopkins, they are, you get it anywhere near them, it's theirs. Let's see. We've got a little bit more news here. One more thing. Nope, that's it.
Okay.
That is it.
We're doing pretty good on time too, huh?
Yeah, it's right at an hour.
What?
Woohoo!
We're like professionals or something.
Well, we'd say that if we would got this podcast out about 12 hours ago.
When we
were
planned
supposed to.
Originally.
So anyhow, we're going to have one out Wednesday, guys, and we're going to talk about the news and all that good stuff and probably get into the next preseason game a little bit, but that'll be Friday is when we really break that game down and give our awesome predictions for the score.
It'll definitely be closer this time.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I definitely, nobody saw Tennessee, but they're beating us like that. But, they beat Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta didn't score a touchdown.
Right, but what hurts is thinking that we're in the same caliber.
Right.
That's Atlanta.
But
I'm like, I don't want to consider that.
Is it we suck or Tennessee was good? I'm going with we just really shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me after the second viewing for sure. So hang in there, guys. It really hurt. We were watching that game, and by halftime, we were just like, man, it's been a long time since we felt this way.
I know.
It's been almost a year. The last time we felt that way was week 12 last year.
Okay. All right.
That's the last time we lost a game.
Okay. I see that. Yeah, but we haven't. I mean, I guess we lost one like that to New Orleans. That one hurt pretty bad.
Oh, gosh, yeah, that Thursday. I think it was Thursday night game.
That probably hurt the most.
Yeah, that was a horrible one.
Season.
They just whooped us.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so anyhow, hopefully the refs will get better this year. They're in their preseason slump. Hopefully we'll get better this year.
We will certainly be better this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Remember, guys, this was our second string, played a little bit, but it was mainly third and fourth string guys out there. And, it is what it is. All right. That's going to wrap it up for us. Till next time.
Go Bucs.